Hey everybody, Ketwolski here, checking in with another one of our hashtag Star Trek Soong Files videos, everything you never wanted to know about the Star Trek. Today we're going to be talking about the NX-01 Enterprise crew and where they are post the end of the Enterprise Season 4 finale. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. I do want to go ahead and state that this video will contain both alpha and beta canon sources, so this also may potentially provide some spoilers for the fate of some of your favorite crew members, so just keep that in mind as the video progresses. Okay, so up first is none other than Jonathan Archer himself. Archer's command of the Enterprise ended in the year 2161, after which he signed the charter ratifying the coalition of planets, which would ultimately lead to the formation of the United Federation of Planets. After the founding of the Federation, Archer went on to serve in the Federation's Starfleet Command building. At his retirement from Starfleet, he was Chief of Staff of Starfleet Command with the rank of Admiral. Archer became an honorary member of the Andorian Imperial Guard in the year 2164, Federation Ambassador to Andoria in 2169, served as Federation Council member from 2175 to 2183, and was ultimately elected President of the United Federation of Planets in 2184, a post which he held for 8 years until his retirement in the year 2192. Now, I do want to go ahead and state that inside of the Kelvin timeline, there is a reference to Admiral Archer's prized beagle, which you see pictured here, Porthos. That takes place around the year 2258, which would put Archer at around 146 years young, and it was actually confirmed by the writers and some of the producers on Star Trek 2009, where this is referenced, that it is indeed the exact same Jonathan Archer that we see in Enterprise. But again, keep in mind, that is the Kelvin timeline, so it's not necessarily how old Archer got to live, but that's pretty impressive. 146 years old is pretty serious. Okay, next up we have Charles Tucker III, Trip as he's known on this show. You may be wondering why it is I'm talking about him, because he seemingly died in the end of the Enterprise television show. What possible future could he have had? Well, it is revealed that Tucker had been recruited by the spy agency known as Section 31 and was going to be used to infiltrate Romulan space in order to stop them from developing a Warp 7 star drive. They believed that Tucker's, not only his abilities on the field and his field experience, but also his knowledge of warp drive systems would be the perfect candidate in order to sabotage and potentially even destroy this Warp 7 program that the Romulans were building. And remember, at the time, this is right around the Earth-Romulan Wars, and everyone still kind of hated each other, so that's kind of where the timeline was at. So they were using him to do that, so he had to fake his own death. So in order to facilitate this, Tucker underwent reconstructive surgery on Adjutant Prime, a world whose natives are familiar with the Romulan appearance, in order for him to blend in with an enemy line. So he actually got the bowl haircut, he got the brow, he got the whole nine in order to blend in with the Romulan culture. After many years of working for Section 31, he eventually left the organization in 2186. Tucker then assumed the name Michael Kenmore, and had several cosmetic alterations done to his face to ensure his anonymity. He moved with TPol on Vulcan and eventually became the father of her 2 children, Tamir and Lorian, named after his son from an alternate reality. Now, I do want to go ahead and note that I believe Michael Kenmore was the name that the same actor played in Stargate Atlantis, which I think is maybe like a little Easter egg. I'm not sure, but I think that's kind of cool. Okay, next up we have TPol. Just after the formation of the United Federation of Planets, TPol was promoted to the rank of captain and was placed in command of the USS Endeavour. In the following years, she worked closely with Admiral Archer, who selected the Endeavour as his personal flagship. By the year 2186, at age 98, she left Starfleet service and became an ambassador for the Federation. She lived in her family's house on Vulcan with Tucker and their 2 children, Tamir and Lorian. Not much is known about Mr. Malcolm Reed himself, but what we do know is that he served as TPol's first officer on the USS Endeavour before being promoted to the rank of captain of the USS Pioneer, during which he also worked with Dr. Toby and Dax to carry out various modifications to the ship. This ship became widely known as the ship that was trying its best to incorporate Federation member worlds technology with that of Earth. So they did a lot of experimenting, not so much combat, which I'm sure Malcolm Reed did not like as much. Travis Mayweather. In the mid-2155, after the destruction of the ECS Kobayashi Maru, he felt that he could no longer trust Jonathan Archer, so Travis left the Enterprise and took an assignment on the NX-class Discovery, or the NX-04. After earning a reputation of being a bad luck charm, almost all of the ships he served on were destroyed, Travis was transferred to various ships of the fleet, never staying in one place for too long. It wasn't until the year 2162 that Mayweather was offered the first officer position on board the USS Pioneer with Captain Reed. He accepted the position and remained on board until his retirement. Following the end of the Earth-Romulan War and founding of the United Federation of Planets, Dr. Phlox was assigned to the Federation starship USS Endeavour under the command of Captain TPol. By the year 2250s, Phlox was a teacher at Starfleet Academy, and in the early 2260s, Phlox had left his position to do some exploring, at which point he found himself filling in as a temporary doctor of Epsilon Zeta 7. He also, at that point, helped the USS Enterprise Chief Medical Officer Leonard McCoy find a cure for a virus at the Epsilon Zeta 7 outpost. Now, we don't know exactly how long Mr. Dr. Phlox was alive for, but I think it's fair to say that it was for at least several hundred years, especially if he was hanging out with Leonard McCoy, still making antidotes and doing different doctor stuff. So that's kind of impressive that he lived for that long and was able to interact with the crew of the USS Enterprise NCC-1701. So that's pretty cool. And finally, we have Hoshi Sato. By the year 2162, Sato had been promoted to lieutenant commander and was serving on board the USS Endeavour as the ship's communication officer under Captain TPol. Holding the rank of lieutenant commander, Hoshi Sato retired from Starfleet in her late 30s. Afterwards, she perfected the lingua code, which became the most crucial and critical element of the universal translator technology that was used for centuries to come. Okay, so that wraps up today's video of where the NX-01 crew kind of wound up after they all dispersed at the end of Season 4 of Enterprise. I think most people knew what happened with Archer. I actually did not know that he became president of the Federation for his time period. That's pretty cool. Most people, I think, also knew that Tucker's character was retconned and he didn't die at the end of Season 4, which was something that most fans, including myself, were like, why are you doing this? This is stupid. You're just doing this for emotional impact. So it's good that they brought him back, and it's good that he wound up with TPol and they had their kids on Vulcan. So that was pretty cool. It's weird that Travis Mayweather became like this weird plague upon the fleet. So him eventually finding his footing and becoming first officer for Reed, I think, was a really good ending for him. Hoshi retiring early from Starfleet makes sense because of her character, and Phlox living to 500,000 years old also makes sense because, he's Denobulan and that's just what they do. Anyways, guys and gals, I hope that you enjoyed this video, at least found it a little bit entertaining and informative for anyone who's a fan of this particular crew. Personally, I love this crew a lot, so I'm curious to hear what all of you guys and gals think about what happened to all the different crew members of the NX-01. Did you like the fact that they retconned Tucker's death? Did you like the fact that they wound up together, him and TPol? Do you like the fact that Archer became the president of the Federation? Do you think that was fitting end for him? And then what do you think about, Mayweather, Reed, Hoshi, and Phlox? What happened to all them? Did you think that they were going to have more to do? Or do you think that their ends fit pretty well with their characters? I'm curious to hear what you guys and gals think about it. Please throw a like and a subscribe up on YouTube. Please follow me on Twitter at RealKetwolski. Follow me on Facebook at Facebook.com/RealKetwolski. And I will catch you guys and gals next time. Live long and prosper, my Trekkies.